everybody, it's good to see you again. Today we're going to cover another assignment. This assignment is going to be on your world history, and it's World History Part 1. And this assignment is about King Louis XVI. Now, let me just say there's a lot of King Louis, so don't get confused. When you do your research, make sure you put in King Louis XVI, or XVI is the proper way to put it. I hear a lot of you in class saying, why should I have to write about somebody from so long ago? Well, it's important to study history. And one reason it's important to study history is that it helps us understand about other cultures and why they act like they do. For example, one thing that you're going to study is the French Revolution. And the French Revolution started out with the storming of the Bastille. Now, the Bastille was a prison, and it was also where the government kept weapons stored. So the people in France got so upset at King Louis XVI that they stormed the Bastille. What that meant was that they freed all the prisoners and got the weapons. And so this was the start of the French Revolution. Now, that's an important day in their history. Actually, it's like the 4th of July in our history. They usually spend that day, it's July 14th, and they spend that day off from work with their family and friends. They shoot fireworks and have picnics, things like that, things we do on the 4th of July. So there you go. We can compare their culture with our culture. Another reason that it's important to study history is because a lot of people believe that history repeats itself. An example of this would be the Holocaust. I'm sure you've all heard about the Holocaust, you know, Adolf Hitler, the Nazis, and you may have even read the Diary of Anne Frank while you were still in school. This is where Hitler was against the Jewish people, and he persecuted them. As a matter of fact, he killed over 6 million of these people, and most of them were sent to gas chambers, but before that, they were treated horrible. Well, by studying this, we can help prevent that ever happening in our country, because we can elect officials that don't share this same philosophy. So while we were talking about storming the Bastille, and remember that's a prison, I want to talk just a little bit about that. Most of the people in that country were unemployed, and there was a famine in the country. So there wasn't much food available. Now, they were so upset that they rose up and had the French Revolution, which again started on storming the Bastille. That would be comparable to today if President Trump and his wife went out and spent a whole bunch of money on stuff and went out and played golf and did all these activities that other people couldn't afford to do because they might be unemployed and they might not have the money to buy food. So just imagine how bad you would be at them. So that's the connection with history now. So I want to go ahead and start with the directions for the assignment. So if you're at your computer, you can pull those directions up. I've got them printed on this poster board. So we're going to start reading the assignment directions for King Louis XVI. Okay, you're going to write a minimum of a 500-word biography on King Louis XVI and highlight some of the major events in his early life, his reign as king, and the role he played in the French Revolution. Your biography should be formatted as a 5-paragraph essay with each main topic as its own body paragraph. Be sure to include research in each of your paragraphs and cite your research as well. Make sure to review the rubric to see exactly how you will be graded for this assignment. So we're going to pull up the student rubric. And my copy of this, no matter how many times I tried to print it, came off blurry for the introduction. But basically, in this introduction, you want to have a few sentences and you want to have a thesis statement at the end of your paragraph that explains what you're going to be talking about in your essay. Now, one important thing in this whole essay that you will be graded on is your use of grammar and punctuation. So try not to make any errors on this. Go back and reread and proofread your paper. The next thing is academic language. So you need to use language that's appropriate for a research paper, and don't use opinion words or words like personal pronouns like I or my. So you don't want to put any opinion into this paper. All right, so each paragraph that you do needs to be presented chronologically. And that means you start from the beginning and go to the end. And instead of starting in the middle or at the end, you want to start at the beginning of what happened. So for your first paragraph, you're going to talk about his early life, and you may want to start off with when he was born and then move into what happened in his early life. So this rubric says that you need to discuss 2 or more notable events in the early life of Louis. Okay, and you gotta state this from research. So the third paragraph is going to be about his reign as the king. And again, you want to do this in chronological order. And you need to discuss, just like in the second paragraph, 2 or more notable events that he did during his reign as king. And again, you need to make sure that this comes from research. Now, the next to the last paragraph is his role in the revolution. So again, it's got to be chronological. And all of these paragraphs need to be a single paragraph of their own. So you need to discuss 2 or more notable events in the role of Louis in the French Revolution. And again, you're going to use your research to discuss this. Now, the last paragraph, of course, is going to be the conclusion. And it can't be more than 5 sentences. And you just need to summarize what you said in the paper, but don't start any new information about it. Just talk about what you said in the paper. Now, I just want to say that since my student rubric pulled up so blurry, I can't see how many sentences they want in the introduction paragraph. So if you will pull that up yourself and read that, it'll tell you how many sentences that you can have. Okay, I have broken this down, how you're going to organize your paper, just to help you a little bit more to understand what's required. So I made an outline. So the first thing, the first paragraph is going to be your introduction. And don't forget to add that thesis statement at the end of your first paragraph. Again, that's just going to introduce what you're going to be talking about. The second paragraph is going to be about King Louis's early life, like when he was born, what he did in his early years. The third paragraph is going to be about his reign as king, and that's going to talk about, or you're going to talk about what he did as a king. Was he a good king, bad king, all those type things. And the fourth paragraph is going to be his role in the French Revolution. And we've already talked about how the people were so upset at him. So you need to talk about all those events that lead up to the French Revolution and what his role was in it. Your fifth paragraph is just going to be your conclusion, And that's just going to restate in different words, basically, what you have said in the whole paper. It's kind of like the introduction, but it's just saying what you've already said, basically. All right, don't forget at the end of the paper, preferably on a separate page, copy and paste the web addresses of where you got your information. So as you're doing your research, you may just want to open a Word document and go ahead and paste those web addresses onto that so that you won't forget where you got the research. And above all, remember to put this in your own words. Please don't plagiarize. Refer back to my plagiarizing video if you don't understand quite what plagiarism is. I hope that this helped you understand this assignment a little better. This is probably one of the easier essays that you're going to have to do. So don't look at it as hard to do just because it happened a long time ago. You'll learn a lot from this. I just hope that you're having a great time on your spring break. I know I'm enjoying myself, and I hope you're staying safe and do all the things that they're telling you to do, like to wash your hands, stay away from people. Just the best thing to do is stay in your house and find something to do, work on your high school diploma. Anyway, I just hope that you have a wonderful afternoon and continue to enjoy that spring break.